Good evening. Good evening, everyone. We still do have some seats available in the front. Yes, if you have your cell phones on, please put them on vibrate. That was a great reminder for that. We've got plenty of room, I believe, in the cafeteria still. We are going to get started in just a minute because we have quorum. We have some prefatory stuff that I can get through while people are still getting checked in. We have a consent calendar that I think everyone will be okay with going through while people are still getting checked in. And then once we've gone through the consent calendar, I'll see where things stand with the check-in and decide whether we need to recess it all to get more people who are waiting to check in checked in. So, welcome, and thank you for coming to this special town meeting. For those of you who do not know me, I am Roger Smirge of 7 Onion River Road, your town moderator. Before we get started tonight, let me note that this evening's meeting is being broadcast live and is also being recorded. A few introductions are also in order. To my left, up here on stage, we have Town Council Lauren Goldberg of KP Law, Town Clerk Diane Bucco, Executive Assistant to the Town Administrator Michelle McGovern, Assistant Town Administrator Joseph Pesamato, and the folks from Meridia Voting Systems, Michael Chasen is our consultant. Seated in front of the stage to my right are Town Administrator Steve Poulos and the members of the Select Board. We have Financial Officer Peter Clay, we've got Clerk Deirdre Parati, we've got Member Karen Anger, Vice Chair Gary Cheeseman, and Chair Ben Timon. Seated in front of the stage to my left, we have the Finance and Advisory Committee, consisting of Chair Finn Sprague and members David Doggett, Jared Ward, and Bob Popadick. They are joined by Jeff Soulard, our Finance Director and Town Accountant. For those of you attending town meeting for the first time, town meeting is the town's legislative session, and you, the voters, are its legislators. I thank you for taking time to participate in this important part of the democratic process. Now, could I ask all residents that are able and willing to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We're making use of 2 additional rooms tonight. Sitting in those rooms rather than in the gym does not alter in any way one's ability to participate in the meeting. Your votes will be counted just the same, and you can speak when recognized by me, the moderator, just like those sitting here in the gym. However, in order to make this process run smoothly, I need to appoint assistant moderators to oversee things in those additional rooms, to direct those looking to speak here to the gym to do so, and to confer with me on votes and other procedural matters. The assistant moderators will be vested with the same powers as me, except for the powers to recognize a speaker and to declare a vote. Pursuant to Chapter 39, Section 14 of the General Laws, I have appointed Tim Fazio to serve as the assistant moderator in the cafeteria and Emily Doggett to serve as the assistant moderator in the classroom serving as the so-called family room. Town Clerk Diane Bucco swore in today's assistant moderators prior to the start of the meeting. So, our town bylaws require that we have a quorum of 120 registered voters. I have been advised by the town clerk that quorum has been met, so I now call this special town meeting to order. We will omit the return of the warrant, which shows that it has been properly served. Today, we will be using electronic voting as our primary means of voting. We will resort to the voting cards only in the event of a technical issue. Each voter should have received both a clicker and a voting card at check-in. If you are a registered voter and did not receive a clicker and voting card, please see the election officers at the check-in tables in the vestibule at the back of the gym. If you don't have a clicker and a voting card, you will not be able to vote. You must be in one of the 3 voting areas, the gym, the cafeteria, or the family room, in order for your vote to be counted. Also, for those voters in the family room, you should have been given a clicker with a red dot on it. These clickers will only work with the separate transmitter set up for the family room. So, if you come into the gym to speak, one of the election officers will help you trade your red dot clicker for one that works with the transmitter for the gym, in case a motion is put to a vote while you are in the gym waiting to speak. When you leave the gym to go back to the family room, an election officer will help you trade that clicker back in for the red dot clicker to use in the family room. When putting a motion to a vote using the clickers, I will announce that the voting is open. Anyone in favor of the motion should press 1, the green button, on their clicker. Anyone opposed to the motion should press 2, the red button, on their clicker. Anyone who wants to abstain, that is, not vote on the pending motion, should simply not press any buttons. We will not be using the yellow number 3 button for abstentions. After a brief period, I will announce that voting is closing. Although you can change your vote while voting is open, only your last vote selection at the time of closing will be counted. I will then declare the vote. The clickers have not been registered to individual voters, so no names will appear on screen, and no record of each voter's vote will be maintained. That said, each voter is entitled to only one vote and should not use another voter's clicker to place an additional vote. To ensure that the clickers are functioning properly, we will now run a test vote. So, when you press your button, for this question, you can press either one, the green 1A button, the 2 no button. The little window on the clicker should see, after a couple of seconds, the word OK should pop up there. If you believe that there's a problem with your clicker, please notify one of the assistant moderators or one of the election officials. We also have someone from Meridia out with the election officials. If there are any technical problems, they can try to help you resolve those, get a new clicker if need be. And then if there are technical problems that we cannot resolve, that's when we will turn to the voting cards. If we get to that, I'll explain the process for doing that. So let's go ahead and go to the test question. Can we switch over to the screen? So the test question tonight, will the Generals baseball team defeat Linfield in the state Final Four? I have a feeling we might get a unanimous vote on this one, but we'll see. I'm not gonna jinx it. All right, voting is now open. You may have to press twice. With the volume of voters we've got in attendance, it might be a little bit of a lag. So if you're not seeing the number for your vote, the 1 or the 2, and you're not seeing the little OK, press your vote a second time. That might help get the signal going. All right. It seems that the clickers are functioning. To my assistant moderators, any issues in the cafeteria or in the family room? Hearing none, I think that...
No issues in the family room.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Doggett. Mr. Fazio? This is also a good check to make sure that their microphones are working.
No reported issues.
Okay, thank you. All right, the assistant moderators have reflected that there's no reported issues. It seems like everyone is good here in the gym, so it appears that the clickers are functioning. So let's proceed. As noted in the warrant book, the conduct of our meeting is governed by the rules of town meeting time, a special set of parliamentary procedures developed by the Massachusetts Moderators Association for the New England Town Meeting. Just came out with a 4th edition this year. It's nice and shiny. My responsibilities as your town moderator include presiding over and regulating the proceedings tonight, deciding questions of order, declaring votes, and granting leave to address the meeting. To ensure that we have an orderly meeting and that people who want to speak are able to do so, permission of the moderator is required to address the meeting. If you wish to speak on a motion, please come to one of the microphones and wait to be recognized. Oh, I didn't actually see. Did we still have that vote up? I didn't actually see if we got unanimous on that. 55 noes? Oh, man. Who are the Linfield fans here? Well, we'll see if the baseball team can prove you wrong in a couple of days. All right, to ensure that we have an orderly meeting and that people who want to speak are able to do so, permission of the moderator is required to address the meeting. If you wish to speak on a motion, please come to one of the 2 microphones in the gym and wait to be recognized. When you ask to be recognized, please state your name and street address. We will use the same rules at today's town meeting that we use at every town meeting. There will be a 3-minute speaking maximum per voter per motion during debate. 3 minutes is not selected at random. To quote a long-serving moderator from the town of Andover, 3 minutes is enough for anyone. After 5, you put them to sleep. After 7, they're going to vote against you even if they agree with you. After 3 minutes have passed, I will hold up my hand to let you know that your time is up, and then I will let you know verbally as well. Please wrap up your remarks when you see me put my hand up and tell you that your time is up. If you continue speaking other than to wrap up, my obligations to maintain a fair and efficient meeting require that I move on to the next speaker. A voter wishing to speak more than once on a motion can request the moderator put a motion to the meeting to allow that, but the moderator will not recognize a request to speak a 3rd time on a motion. Please remember that we are in a legislative session for the town of Wenham tonight. We are here with our friends and neighbors. We are a community, and I ask everyone to keep that concept in mind as we act through the meeting tonight. While spirited debate is always welcome, being cordial and respectful is a priority for the efficiency of the meeting. Every person who rises to debate a motion has an equal right to be heard. We want people to feel comfortable participating in the meeting, sharing opinions, and asking questions. As such, at this meeting, like all town meetings, we expect people to refrain from making remarks of a personal nature, whether directed at an elected or appointed official, town or school district staff, or any of your fellow registered voters. Again, to ensure that the meeting is run efficiently, any comments or questions must be directed to the moderator rather than to the boards, committee members, other registered voters, or prior speakers. Town meeting is not a forum for cross-examination of presenters or other speakers. If necessary, should a question arise, and if I deem it appropriate, I may ask a specific town official to address the question as best can be done. Applauding, cheering, or for that matter booing a speaker's remarks disrupts and delays the meeting. Disorderly conduct is grounds for the removal from the meeting after a warning, but I trust that won't be necessary tonight. While we have a number of non-residents in attendance, we generally only allow residents to speak on articles in the warrant. However, I will assume that the meeting is comfortable allowing the town administrator and his staff, department heads, the superintendent of schools or members of his team, and town council to speak when they have relevant information and after being recognized by the moderator. If any other non-resident wishes to speak on a particular matter, they may request to do so through the moderator, and if I deem the request appropriate and the potential input informative, I will ask town meeting to vote on that request. Additional grounds for our town meeting are set out in the note from the town moderator contained in the warrant book. Hearing no objections, I declare that the rules of the meeting, including those concerning voting and non-resident speaking, have been approved by unanimous consent. With those last few preliminary matters taken care of, let's now turn to the warrant and begin. Yep. Before we get to the warrant, I'm just going to ask if you could either move in to fill in any gaps, if there are gaps in your row, or raise your hand if there's open seats in your row. There's certainly at least a dozen or 2 dozen seats open up here towards the front of the gym. And there's other, there may be other seats still available in the cafeteria, but we do have some more space, and we want to make sure everyone who needs a seat can get a seat. And again, if you could if there's an empty seat next to you, just move in to fill it in. This is like Disney World. You got to move to the center. No saving seats, no leaving them open. Trying to fill in every seat that we have tonight. All right, so the warrant before us presents 13 articles. As the text of each article already appears in your warrant book and will appear on screen, we will waive the reading of the articles by unanimous consent and move on. Hearing no objections, I declare the reading of the articles waived. Each article advises the meeting of the topic to be addressed. Articles, however, merely stake out the limits of the area within which the meeting may act. Someone needs to make a motion for such action to occur. So, for each article, I will see if the board, committee, or individual advancing the article in question wishes to make a motion. If a motion is made and receives a second, we will then take up any questions, comments, or proposed amendments to the motion, and then ultimately vote on the motion. If no motion is made or the motion is not seconded, we move on to the next article. To ensure that the record is clear on what town meeting is voting upon, and to ensure that the clerk can prepare complete minutes of today's meeting, I ask that any substantive amendments to a motion be made in writing and presented to the town moderator or the town clerk as appropriate. I will also direct that a motion be made in writing if, in my sole discretion, the motion is complicated or lengthy. If necessary, we have a form available. It's up here right on the edge of the stage behind the presenter's podium. So if you wish to make a motion that you have not prepared in advance, you can come grab one of those forms and fill it out. With that, let's turn to the articles. It is this moderator's impression that Articles 1 through 4, which all concern local acceptance statutes relating to the compensation of certain town officials, can be considered for inclusion in a consent calendar because of the similarity of the topics and the fact that town meeting is just being asked whether to accept the provisions of the general laws at issue. For each article, I will read the article number and general purpose. If you want to consider that article separately for any reason, please say hold after I read the article. And that you can shout, that's the one thing that you can shout out from your seat, is if you want hold. Everything else has to be done at the microphones. If 5 voters rise in support of the hold, that article will be removed from the consent calendar. We will then vote on any articles remaining in the consent calendar as a batch, and then turn back to the held articles, if any, for separate consideration and voting. The articles proposed as a consent calendar are Article 1, Local Acceptance of Mass General Laws, Chapter 41, Section 19K, concerning additional compensation for the town clerk. Article 2, Local Acceptance of Mass General Laws, Chapter 41, Section 108P, concerning additional compensation for the treasurer-collector. Article 3, Local Acceptance of Mass General Laws, Chapter 41, Section 19J, concerning additional compensation for the town clerk. Article 4, Local Acceptance of Mass General Laws, Chapter 59, Section 21A, concerning additional compensation for the assessor or assistant assessor. All right, so I heard no holds here in the gym. Mr. Fazio, any holds in the cafeteria?
No.
Ms. Doggett, any holds in the family room?
No.
All right, having heard no holds, I recognize Jared Ward of the FinCom to make the main motion under the consent calendar. Sorry, let's try that again. I'll recognize Jared Ward of the FinCom to make the main motion under the consent calendar.
I move that Articles 1 through 4 be approved as printed in the warrant.
Is there a second? Motion has been made and seconded. The warrant reflects that FinCom's recommendation on these articles is to be made here at town meeting. What is FinCom's recommendation on these articles?
The FinCom recommends favorable action.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on the motion to approve the consent calendar? And again, for those participating in the first town meeting, when I asked that question, this is the time when voters could come to the microphones, ask questions, debate the issue, and make any further motions. Although I will not entertain any motions to amend for the articles in the consent calendar as there were no holds called. But is there any discussion? All right, seeing no one come to the microphone, we will now vote on the motion to approve the consent calendar as a whole. A yes vote means approving all action in these articles. A no vote means such articles will not be approved. This motion requires a simple majority. Voting is now open. Voting is still open. We've been going for about 30 seconds. As I said earlier, with the volume tonight and the fact that we're using 2 transmitters, it takes a little bit while longer. So I'm going to leave voting open for a little while longer.
Well, there we go. I get it. All right. More book.
All right, we'll give it 15 more seconds for voting, and then I'm going to close the voting. So 15 seconds if you haven't voted yet. Now is the time. Again, 1 for yes, that's the green button. 2, the red button, is for no. And we'll go ahead and close the voting. And the motion passes 458 yeas to 98 nays. All right, so we've now come to Article 5, and I see we've got quite a few people still waiting to check in. So I'm going to declare a recess at this time, and we will see if we can get everyone checked in, and then proceed. All right, so just stand by. Appreciate your patience.
Drag racing is on your street because it's not a real street. On my illegal street race. Yeah, I know. I saw it on the agenda. Oh wow. Yeah, this is a crazy amount of people. Right. Yeah, I don't know. I guess they're using the gym at the high school for Hamilton, and that holds 2,000 people.
Yeah. And then we go here.
Yeah. I've been thinking about you all because the planning board I'm struggling trying to, they really don't want to make any decisions. They just latch onto an issue and hold on to it forever. And then I was thinking about the select board. I'm trying to think, what have they accomplished? They seem to be.
I know, it's so
And so this will recognize your street as a
Yes.
street. And,
Well, I guess, yeah. I hope people say yes, right?
yeah. Why not? Right?
I don't know.
Do the police want like they go up to your neighborhood?
Oh, yeah. No. The police, firefighter,
Do they plow your street?
for the first time, because the builder used to do that for the first 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
These last winter said, no, I'm done. I'm not going to plow anymore. And it was, whoa. And we had to hire TM.
Private, yeah.
Yeah, $1,000. And then that's when I was meeting and saying, can you please at least do that for us to, hire engineer and everybody else, that lawyer. And then we have to pay ourselves, the lawyer, engineer, and all that.
Why are they dragging their feet on it? Like, what's the issue?
Well, the thing is, there was a bond. The builder had a bond. And I don't know who released that bond. So why the builder has any rush
Yeah, to finish the job.
Exactly. So we're so mad at whoever, we're mad at people who released the bond, and we're mad at whoever, because what happened is whoever accepted 5 years, 7 years ago, wrote on the thing, like, to release the bond, it wasn't a lot of things to do.
Yeah.
So then this group of people couldn't keep him, accountable. But we're mad at them. So we're mad at them, and they said, well, you were not here when he applied for the development. Okay, well, so please don't do this again for the future residents. But don't make it easy for the future.
And so once they recognize you as a street, what will that?
Well, good practice. Keep plowing, and we're hoping the bus will go up. The bus.
Oh, the bus, yeah.
But,
And the mail gets to it.
oh, the mail gets, we get everything but the plow. Well, what happened is something happened there now. Say, an accident
Yeah.
or something. Would have been, the residents would be, like, responsible.
Oh, because it's considered a private street.
Yeah. So for now on, won't
So
be.
you can be sued.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's funny, I was looking up. I looked it up after we talked, and I was looking if a street is not recognized, do the police still have jurisdiction in Massachusetts? And it said yes, but I didn't look up the liability piece, so that's a big deal.
Yeah, and then like after you learn about that, then you're like, whoa, so anything can happen.
So if I'm up there street racing and I roll over,
Oh, please don't. Don't chase, don't do it.
yeah, I pass your street every day, so 4 times a day,
Yeah.
going to and from Wareham.
Yeah, that's yeah, a lot of people drive because like pretty much Beverly and the highway.
Yeah, I walk my dog, on Grover, the
Oh,
green
you
belt.
do?
The green
Yeah,
belt.
yeah.
I park there and I walk in twice a day in the morning. When I drop my dog off at about 8:40,
Yeah.
and then about 3 o'clock. I walk. It's a nice little loop in there.
Yeah, right.
Of course, for you to get here up Grover, there's no sidewalks up the road. It's really narrow.
I know. I know. My daughter likes to go to YMCA by bike. Right. That's true.
Ben Timon and Karen Anker, can you please come to the stage? Thank you.
So is anybody going to speak on behalf of the group tonight?
I think so, but I'm not sure. We all here. We just saw another neighbor, so we all here,
It's not a controversial issue, I can't imagine.
Right. Right. The builder not even drive one.
Where's he live?
Beverly. In a mansion.
calling the meeting back to order at 7:10. Folks, I want to thank you for coming out tonight. You have turned out in historic numbers. Unfortunately, and here's the bad news, what that means is that we have reached the point where we are in excess of our capacity tonight. So, here's what we're going to do. And again, thank you. Really, I know this is not what you're going to want to hear, but it means that you all are really interested and want to do your democratic part. So that's huge. And in a moment, I'll say when we're going to meet again. It's Wednesday night. I'll get into the details. Come back out on Wednesday night. All right. So, pursuant to Section 10 of Chapter 39 of the General Laws, a town meeting may be held in one or more places, provided that if it is held in more than one place, the places are connected by means of public address system and loudspeakers, so that the proceedings in all such places may be heard and participated by the voters there present. Whenever the moderator determines that voters are being excluded from the town meeting because there is no room for them in the places provided, or that voters in attendance are being deprived of the opportunity to participate therein for any reason whatsoever, he shall either, on his own motion, recess the meeting for any period during the day of the meeting, or after consultation with the members of the select board then present, adjourn the same to another date not later than 14 days following the date of said meeting. I have made the determination that we no longer have room for all voters to participate in tonight's meeting. So, I have consulted with the board, the select board, and we will adjourn tonight's meeting here at Article 5 to Wednesday night. So Wednesday, June 11th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. at the Gordon College Bennett Center. And for folks who are already heading for the door, please turn in your clickers. Don't leave with the clickers. Please turn them back in. You'll get more clickers on Wednesday night. So, special town meeting is hereby adjourned until Wednesday, June 11, 2025, 6:30 p.m. at Bennett Center, Gordon College. Please come as early as possible to check in. It would really help speed up the process on Wednesday night. We really appreciate you coming out tonight, and please come back on Wednesday. Thank you.